So let's do 7.2, number 8. Okay. Setup. Word problem, right? By giving you guys a word 48. Yeah, thank you. So, have I given you guys word problem procedure yet?
Yeah.
You guys all know how to solve word problems? Okay, let's build some easy steps for word problems. First, primarily,
Don't freak out.
yeah, don't freak out. Don't panic. Breathe. Okay, really, like, it's just a freaking math problem. It's not the end of the world if you get it wrong, right? So calmness is key. 2.
Read it.
Read it. You can tell Connie's taking the class from me. So, read the problem. This one particularly says, a 200-foot tall monument is located in the distance. From a window in the building, a person determines the angle of elevation to the top of the monument is 15 degrees, and that the angle of depression to the bottom of the tower is 2 degrees. How far is the person from the monument? What did you all take out of that? I took the word depression, which is basically what this problem is eliciting. Right? That falls into don't panic. We can do this. So I read it, and I really probably didn't retain any of that information, right? Okay, so the third step here is relatively crucial. Always do this. I don't care what form this takes. Draw a picture. In this class, that will be absolutely crucial. You will always have a good applicable picture to draw here. Whether you can find that picture or not might be a different question, but draw something. Even if it's just a picture of a duck, or in this case, a picture of a monument and a person. Right? Okay, so when I think monument, I'm thinking this thing. Right? Monument. And then what else is there in this problem?
A dude in a window?
A dude in a window. Right? So there's like a building over here, and it's got a window in it, and there's a person. And he's thinking, yay, math. Right? Okay, and what else do I know? Did anybody follow any of the rest of this?
He's depressed.
He's depressed.
From his viewpoint, going up to the top of the monument, there's an angle of 15 degrees. So from his viewpoint,
Okay, so
up 15 degrees down.
from him, or her, whatever, assuming this is a guy because he's looking at this giant, never mind. So, I found this angle is 15 degrees in there, right? Right, it says the angle of elevation to the top of the building. What? No. Oh God, good, I'm reading the wrong problem. The angle of elevation to the top of the monument is 15 degrees. Okay? And then it says the angle of depression to the bottom is 2 degrees. So clearly I have not drawn this picture to scale. Right? It doesn't have to be to scale. It'll be okay if it's not to scale. That falls under don't panic. If it's bad enough off of scale that it's screwing you up, you may have to make it a little bit better. Right? Redraw your picture is, of course, an option. Can anybody tell me another piece of relevant information here?
The monument is 200 feet high.
Yeah, I think the monument's 200 feet tall. Cool. All right. So, anybody want to tell me what step 4 is?
Label. Do it.
Yeah, let's see. So I drew a picture, right? And then the next thing I did was label it.
Got all the numbers that it tells you. Got all the information.
Yeah, throw the information that's out of the problem onto the picture. Then what? Sure, I'll go with that. That's a good phrasing. Figure that stuff out. Right? This is going to boil down to usually, so when you see that, that's usually going to be write an equation or two. And
Solve.
yeah, do some math to it. Cool. So really what I mean by that is like algebra or something. Maybe a little bit of trig if we're going nuts. Cool? All right, so I'm going to give you guys a minute to try to write some equations here, see what you can come up with. It might be useful to you to split that 200 feet into a couple of pieces.
What's the question asking? How far is the person from the monument?
Yeah, so the question's asking for what's this distance here. You guys see that? So I'm going to call that D, maybe, for distance. And then you might need to, yeah, there might be some fiddling here.
Gotta get the D.
Cool. So look around for D, and we'll come back once we've come up with something. See if we can put our information together. So far I think we added to our picture what? Calling the top part of this T and the bottom part B. And then we noticed that when we have an opposite side and an adjacent side, we should be thinking about tangents, right? So I'm looking at this picture, I'm thinking tangent's gonna be my jam here. And what else do I know?
Some degrees.
I think I know 200 is what?
T plus B.
T plus B? Okay, so, look, brand new board. All right, so I know 200 is T plus B. And what do I know about tangents? Opposite over adjacent, right? Okay, so what's tangent of 2 degrees? That would be 2 degrees at the bottom one, so that would be the opposite of 2 degrees, which is B over D. Okay, and what's the other one? Tangent of 15 degrees is T over T. Okay.
And those two ratios equal to.
Okay, close. I need the D's out of them before I can stick them in there, right? You guys see that? So what can I do to this thing, both sides, to get B equals? Multiply by D. Okay, so I've got D times tangent of 2 degrees is B. And if I want to solve for T, what do I do? Multiply both sides by D again. So I get T is D tangent of 15 degrees. Okay, then what do I know?
Now you know B and T.
Yeah, now I know B and T, right, in terms of D. So I can take this information and plug it in there. Right? And I can take this information here and plug it in there. And this is why algebra 2 is hard, right? So now there's lots of letters, but I'm going to cut 2 of them, right? So far I've had 3 letters, right? The point of doing this is that I can cut 2 of them. You guys see that? Now 200 is what? D tangent of 15 is degrees plus D tangent of 2 degrees. And this maybe looks worse than what I started with, right?
But you can divide
Why?
by D.
Why does this look worse than what I started with?
You just sound scary.
Yeah, it looks like there's way more lettery crap in here, right? But what's this thing categorically?
It's a number.
One number.
Yeah, this thing's just a friggin' number,
Yeah.
right?
So you just simplify those tangents and then add the label to different right?
Yeah. So that's also a number, right? So if I looked at this and I thought to myself, all right, they're just numbers, right? So if I had 200 was d times 7 plus d times 3, what would I do? No?
No, you just add them together.
I'd combine like terms, right? I'd stick these together. That'd give me 10 d's, right? And then I would divide both sides by 10. I'd figure out d is whatever d is. You guys see that? I'm going to do that exact same thing over here, but it's going to look a little bit nasty. So if you've got some number of d's and some other number of d's, how many d's do you have total? Yeah, so we could go to a calculator, right? If I go to a calculator, I'm going to get soft equal sign here. You guys see that? I'm going to go without for a second just because I want to show you guys this. If you want to go to a calculator and switch to a soft equal sign, go for it. Totally fine. I'm going to do this. I'm going to write d times stuff. Tangent of 15 degrees plus tangent of 2 degrees. You guys all see what I did there? So this step, algebra 2-wise, is a factor. You guys see that? Factored out a d from both things.
You can't combine the two and make 17 degrees,
No.
correct? Okay.
So order matters, and the order here is that this thing is all grouped together, so I have to do this first and this first, and then I can add the results. That's not the same as tangent of 17 degrees.
You
So-
can end up running both of those through your calculator.
Me personally? No, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that thing, and I'm going to write 200 divided by tangent of 15 degrees plus tangent of 2 degrees equals d. I'm going to circle this and go home.
I'm done.
Is that the answer they were looking for in the book?
No.
No, definitely not. Because, right, the question was what? What was the question?
Find the distance away.
Yeah, how far is the building from the monument, right? And what did I answer with? Some kind of nasty gobbledygook, right? Okay, so let's answer this like people, right? How would a person, how would you like the answer to how far is the building?
In feet?
Probably in feet, rounded to somewhere, right? Okay, so can you guys manage that? Can you guys get a number out of this thing for me? Using a calculator maybe? You might find it easiest to go to here and get a number from this space. So if I go to here, 200 is approximately d times, what's important here? There's one kind of relatively crucial thing here.
Order of operations.
Good. Order of operations matters. Do the groupings first, right? And yeah, you need to be in degrees on your calculator. Otherwise, this will make no sense at all. Somebody want to give me tangent of 15 degrees? Say that again. Someone? 0.267.
Is it strange that I get 2 minus? Wait. Never mind. I don't know how to say what I got.
Can you show me? Just no.
You got 2 minus the square root of 3. Cool. Someplace on here there's a way to convert that into a decimal.
There is. It's just a different way entirely.
I don't know how to use that calculator. So I got 0.267 for one of them, and for the other? 0.034. Okay, so if I add those together, what do I get?
0.302.
So I got 200 is approximately D times 0.301, I think. Cool. So then what do I do? Divide by 0.301. Okay, so I'll get D is approximately equal to
664 feet and a half feet.
664.45. Okay, so going back to my list, I was supposed to figure that stuff out, write an equation, and do some math, right? I believe I have figured that stuff out, done some math, and wrote some equations. Now I'm here. What is my final step for this thing?
Feet.
That makes sense for a person.
Answer like a person. Good. So by like a person, I mean with subjects and verbs and all that jazz, right? Preferably in the language with which you were presented the problem. Cool. It's got to be relevant to your audience. So my audience asked a question about the height of a monument in feet, right? So relevant to my audience is going to be answering in
Distance from the monument.
yeah. So I'm going to say the distance to the monument is approximately, why am I saying approximately?
Because it's
Yeah, because I rounded in like 3 spots here. You guys see that? I rounded the tangents of each angle, and then I rounded after I divided. You guys cool with that? So there's a little rounding, hence the approximately. And approximately what?
664.45 feet.
660, they probably,
4.5.
and this is a little relevant to your audience, right? You could write 664 and a half. You could write 664, 665. But that's something you have to know about relevancy to your audience. I'm going to write 664 feet. Because I'm assuming they don't care about 6 inches and 600 feet. You guys see that? But that's a relevant to your audience thing, right? If you're trying to launch a rocket, you may care about the 6 inches. Cool? Questions, concerns, deals? Circle this. You got a question?
Yeah. I got almost an equivalent answer, but by doing a different way, figuring out like the 17 degrees and figuring out how many feet are in each degrees.
Yeah.
I did it that way. I know it's different, but
So the reason that's almost the same
yeah.
is that at this distance, this angle's relatively small, and so the curved path is almost the same length as the straight path. So in general, that approach won't work. But here you got away with it almost, because 17 is almost 0.
Yeah.
You guys see that? Like if we were doing, if this angle were 90 degrees in there, this approach would be way off.
Okay.
But because it's so small, it's close.
Doesn't matter if I get a smaller number. Not bigger.
Oh, yeah, it's because you assumed this was 200 instead of this. And yeah, it makes sense. Other things on that? So when you're running trig functions, right, the crucial step is that you have to make sure you're in a right triangle. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense. or that you're pulling coordinates off a unit circle. Otherwise, there's some adjustments you have to make.